Hello guys, welcome back to the video. Today I will be talking about, or more like reviewing, For Honor in its current state. Now, if you don't know what For Honor is a game where you play as a knight, a viking, and a samurai with added Wu Lin. You basically fight to the death in multiple game modes, with multiple characters in each faction, each having different abilities and movesets to use at your disposal to basically kill your opponent, or whoever he may be. Now, before thinking about making this video, I actually was playing with one of my oldest friends. I was playing For Honor. I don't know why I was playing For Honor. I was just playing For Honor. And we were like, hey, yo, let's go play whatever, like the old, like playing old characters, like looking, like actually like doing a video research more into the game, and it turned into a legit video that I'm disposing with you for today. And I want to say making this video was pretty fun. Well, more like the research, since I'm still not able to upload my clips, and I guess I can't upload my gaming clips of me playing the game. But if you are actually interested in looking at that, just look up For Honor and you'll find people playing the game, guides, basically the community just being out there. And I'm going to change this into 3 subjects. We're going to talk about the story of the game, if there is any to be had. The gameplay mechanics, is it like broken or anything? Are there things that are absolutely destroying the game, or it's just not exciting? And the community. Is it a great community? Is it toxic? Is it shit? Is it interesting? Is it like furry con or whatever? Well, we're gonna start off with the gameplay mechanics. For Honor in itself is a very unique game because I don't know why it is. It just is, and the way you fight is so different. It's not like you press square to punch. Well, I mean that actually is a move, but you play with 3 positions. You go top, left, and right. These are basically, this is your guard. Now, whenever you lock onto somebody, which should be L2. You will lock onto a target and you'll have your guard up. Top protects you from top attacks. Right protects you from right, left protects you from left. Pretty basic. And sometimes some attacks, and for some characters, those sides will mean different things. Like if you're attacking from this side, you'll have a different move than the right side. It's interesting, and I like how they made the game this way, I guess to say. But gameplay-wise, going back into it, if you are a returning player that has previously played the game for a period of time, like maybe like a year, then you stopped playing it, and then came back now, not much is different. And it really depends on when you left and when you come back. Because if you left like very early, like maybe a year after the game came out, excuse me, then you are probably going to see a lot that has changed. But if you left more recently, like maybe after Marching Fire, there are a couple of characters in the game, but other than that, not much has changed. I had left probably after Warmonger came out, which is actually pretty recent. So, I mean, I do play this game on and off, just like how I play World of Warships. And continuing on. Excuse me, hold on. Technical difficulties here, guys. My mic is really laggy. But if you have not yet, while I'm fixing this thing, oh, there you go, there it is. But make sure you subscribe, like for more, usual. Anyways, we were talking about the gameplay mechanics and basically all the different things you can do with characters. It's very interesting, and I also like how they combined it with the game modes. Breach is probably the best one out there. The whole premise of the game, or the game mode, is to either you're an attacker or defender. If you are attacking, you have to push a ram to a gate. At the same time, capturing archer points up on either or side of the map, which will support troops that are moving your thing, then enemies will be shot down. And if you don't capture them, then it's more difficult for your ram to get to the spot and where it needs to be or whatever. So you're playing like two counting games. You're capturing points and then you're moving a ram. So it is a very strategic and team building game mode. More like domination is like chaotic. You're just capturing points and then moving with it. Or in like team deathmatch, you're just killing people, skirmish, all of those other things are just normal. But Breach was put in with Marching Fire. And, there wasn't another game mode since, surprisingly. They haven't added anything else. So you're stuck with, the same old game mode. Breach is the best one. But you wish you would see more, Like, I would have loved to see another game mode that was similar to Breach, or something like that. Or even a game mode where you play as a specific faction, or it's like actually you play in the faction map, which is also another gameplay mechanic, per se, where basically, in the start of your account build up, you have the decision to make to choose a faction. The Knights, the Vikings, the Samurai. Now, whenever you choose a faction, basically you support that faction. Like, you'll put troops down in specific territories on the map. And at the end of campaigns, whoever has the most territories wins, or whoever has the most points wins. Whoever wins the entire season, which is winning the most campaigns, which should take like 2 weeks, will be victorious. Now, we'll get like the cool cosmetics or whatever. And I mean, that is cool. I do like that aspect of it. It makes it more competitive, like you are more motivated to win games. So you can get these things. And not just level up your characters, you're like actually like going and like fighting for a cause. And not really a cause. I mean, some people might feel like it's a cause, but it's just a faction. I mean, it shows some pride, If you are a knight forever, or a brutal Viking, or a weeb samurai. For Honor, this gameplay mechanics, it's very interesting because it's a very unique thing. I'm already going to say that again. It's unique. And because it's so unique that nobody's even thought about this, is mind-boggling. And at the same time, it's really not expected. Like, who would want to play the game, which at the time was kind of controlled by shooters and FPS and big open world, like team collective shooter like Overwatch, and building battle royales like Fortnite. For Honor kind of came in and was like, how about this? And it surprisingly got great reviews at first. Then it declined to a very low point. So, for gameplay, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Only because that there's nothing really new about it. I mean, it is nostalgic to go see the same old stuff. Like, I used to play this guy and I was so good, and then when I play him now, it's like, I feel so different. But it's really just because I was shit at the guy, for one. And two, it's just because my muscle memory was so different. So, I mean, you are still kind of adapting. Like, okay, I want to go play this guy, so I have to move my fingers differently and press different buttons for specific things. But at the same time, it's like, there's nothing new. I mean, if I took a break for a week and get back on, I'd be like the exact same thing. I might be a little bit rusty, but it is still great gameplay mechanics. That's why I give it an 8 out of 10. But to look at another game like Overwatch, it's kind of the same thing. You may press like a bumper or two to change abilities, but you press mainly the same button. For Honor is so different. It's like Mortal Kombat in the sense where every character has a different move. Every single character has a different move. No character has to leave the similar move, except maybe a punch or a kick. So that's why I give it 8 out of 10. Now, this game does have story, surprisingly, so I'll kind of get into that. So there is a campaign in the game. You play as first a knight, then you can play as a Viking, and then you can play as a samurai. And the main antagonist, I guess, of the game, really it's more of like your teammates in the knight one, is the Blackstone Legion. There is this group of people that just basically want to send the world into chaos and war. So you play as a knight, and you end up joining the Blackstone Legion. Then they go up and they take over all of the Vikings or whatever, and whoop their asses. And you play as a Viking that reunites his clans or whatever and goes to the samurai place, raids them. Then you can play as a samurai, reunites the dynamos or whatever, tries to reinstall the emperor, or defeats the emperor put in by the Blackstone Legion. Then the samurai people go and defeat Apollyon, which is the main leader of the Blackstone Legion. So, I mean, you are hopping from one place to another a lot, but at least it's more organized. Like, if you want to play as a knight for a period of time, yeah, you do that. And then right after you finish being a knight, then you go play as a Viking. It's interesting in the campaign and how they do it. I mean, they do really implement all three factions into this campaign. You're not really playing as one singular person. You're playing as multiple people. And you're not even playing as the three main protagonists in each faction. You're playing as some other people sometime. Like, you might be playing as a side character, going to find a tower, like with a Valkyrie or something like that for the Vikings. That was just one. The story, it is a story nonetheless. It's surprising that they even put a story in the game. So, yeah. But there is a lot of lore. And lore and story are not much different, but the thing is, when you play like a campaign, you are fed it directly. You are fed the story directly. And they're like kind of putting it on you whenever you go play a campaign. But when you play, but lore is kind of like story that's not in the game really, but like maybe like on side pieces, or maybe even like in the maps and like some locations and specific things like that. And they do have a lot of that. That's really what builds their season is the lore. The problem is, not a lot of people are going out and looking for the lore. I mean, the people that do make videos on it, and everybody's like, oh, alright, I'm caught up. But not many people are even looking it up anyways. Like, who's looking up the lore for Honor? Excuse me, my throat. Speaking of which, there's a period of time in For Honor where I was basically screaming at my TV every 3 seconds. And transitioning from the story, which I'll give a 7 out of 10, just because of the reason why I'm not looking for lore, I'm going to transition towards the community. I mean, at first, the community, when I used to play it, was very toxic. People were screaming at each other, teabagging each other with spam emotes, and just being, dicks. So, they made an honor code for the people that aren't dicks. Like, I think there's 3 rules. I don't know why I know them, because I don't follow it, but I do know. 1, you don't ledge people, which is pushing them off the ledge and then instantly killing them. You don't fight another person while they're fighting somebody else. So you always fight one-on-one. And then, you don't teabag, which surprisingly is a thing. 4, you don't scream at your mic. Now, I never followed a single one of those rules. People got mad at me. And they tried to make something so... The community themselves are making something so, like, anti-toxic that they made it even more toxic. Because people are screaming at me to follow the honor code. So in the end, it became a toxic movement. But after coming back and playing the game with my friend, it was surprisingly really calm and chill after like a week of playing the game. I had not heard a single person scream at me in the game chat. What am I doing? I never got teabagged before. Not at all. And I might have teabagged once or twice. Don't get me wrong. I might have teabagged once or twice. But that's because I'm just a toxic piece of shit. But surprisingly, nobody else did it to me. And the people that are even in the game chat were having like good on conversations. Usually like after a game's done, they're just screaming at you like, oh, you're so trash, get into the game, blah, 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 blah. But they're actually having conversations like, oh, remember that one time, like, you actually pussy pounded me with your goddamn hammer, Shigogi? Like, oh, yeah. I mean, like, they were having legit, intimate conversations and, like, having fun, and they all knew it was just a game. And that was just so wholesome to see, and I think that was, like, 1 or 2 games. But it was great to see that community that still is, well, not really still, but is now changed and is now not toxic as much. I mean, they might still see some toxic people. I haven't met anybody yet that was very toxic, but surprisingly, the community is like not toxic at all, really. I mean, it's all kind of left. And when they go play Fortnite or fucking, I don't know, Cold War or whatever. So, you know, surprisingly, I was very kind with the community. I've always not. I mean, I was kind of toxic at times. You know, there's a time where you had to teabag somebody. Come on. And you know, other people will kind of teabag, but nowadays I don't see anybody teabagging. And the honor code is kind of at the same time. You know, nobody's talk about the honor code. I mean, it's just something you do. It's not like you talk about it really. It's just something you do, and that's just interesting to see. As I've played so many different games, coming back to it, I've never actually really seen a community create a rule that basically everybody follows for some reason. I mean, and it wasn't really like made by like one person who was like, oh, we should all do this, and everybody's like, okay, I agree. It was kind of just developed anyways. Like, it's a pussy move to ledge somebody because you only take one tap. Actually, fight the guy. Whenever you're double teaming somebody, it's like they really don't have a chance because they're 2-on-1. Teabagging is just a dick move. I mean, a lot of people do that, and what's the point of screaming at somebody when they don't even see you're angry? They just hear you screaming. I mean, they can just mute you. So I mean, the community, all in all, the community is great. I like the community. The community's fun. The community's helpful. When I was trying to like figure out like, oh wait, what button do I press? I forgot. You know, they weren't like dicks about it or anything. They weren't like, you know, you don't know how to play this, huh? And they just told me, and it was cool to see that. Like, they're like, you came back after that. That's cool, man. I very much either it was the people I was playing with at the time, but the community's awesome. I like the community. For the week I was playing, me and my friend went off to different games. People were kind. There was a good portion of people in game chat. 'Cause I mean, like, I've oddly seen that games that are smaller have way more people in game chat than people in bigger communities. I mean, that might just be me making up things, but I genuinely do think that. So, the community in For Honor is weird because I do enjoy, and they do make communities and clubs and groups, discords of each faction. Like, there'll be like strategies and people like share their thoughts on characters, fan art, just anything really. And it's surprising to see because, you know, they do take this game pretty seriously. I mean, like, it's an faction where like there's spies, there's executions. I don't fucking know, dude. It's kind of weird, but it is, you know, it's role play, I guess. I don't fucking know. So, in the end, the community is a 9 out of 10. I'm not gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because, you know, I never really would give it 10 out of 10, but it's a 9 out of 10. So all in all, this game is, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. And is it worth playing now? Yes, totally. You should go play it. It's like cheap. It's like $15. So I think it's totally worth playing the game. It's pretty good gameplay. You know, it's easy to get into. Community's great. Story is interesting once you look into it. It's a very interactive game. So you're going to be interacting with lots of people. You know, you can be playing a game. You know, just doing what gamers do. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a lot longer than usual. So I'll see you on the next one, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe for more. And if you haven't watched to the end, comment potato. Alright? Make sure you made 50 subs, by the way, because I will eat frozen french fries and a frozen pizza. Just let y'all know that. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.